Africa Cup of Nations draw. Is a seasoned sports journalist all the way from Lusaka, Zambia. Calvin Chikenge is live with us this morning. Calvin, good morning to you. Welcome to In the Game.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, interesting one yesterday. Every sports journalist, lovers of Africa or football, were glued to their TV screen to see what the draws will bring to different countries. And indeed, we had interesting fixtures and interesting groups drawn yesterday by different personalities in the world of football. First of all, let's talk about the groups. When you saw the draw, what were your reactions when you eventually saw the draw?
I was just excited. I was looking forward to seeing which team Zambia was going to play. We haven't been at the African Cup of Nations for a while now, 3 times in a row with missed. So my blood was boiling, and I really wanted to see that we're not going to meet Nigeria this time around. I was very excited. It was an exciting draw. Fair enough, but very tricky.
All right, I remember 2013 when Nigeria was drawn in the same group with Zambia. Well, let's look at Group A at the moment. Nigeria in Group A, Cote d'Ivoire, the host nation, in Group A, Guinea-Bissau also in Group A, and not forgetting Equatorial Guinea. I mean, what are the chances of these teams in Group A? Big matchup already: Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Equatorial Guinea, Guinea-Bissau.
I would say it's an interesting group, quite exciting. I didn't see that coming. Nigeria in the same group with Ivory Coast. I hope the Nigerians will be able to beat Ivory Coast like Zambia did in the qualifiers. Yeah, but on a serious note, it's a very, very tricky one, an interesting one. You sleep, you lose. So the Equatorial Guinea will be the spoilers in this group. So I think both Nigeria and Ivory Coast should take it seriously, and they shouldn't think they are already there because they have Equatorial Guinea. It's not very easy to win in Africa. Every team at the African Cup of Nations can pull up a surprise anything. And but I would still fancy Nigeria and Ivory Coast to make it out of the group. So it will not be easy. It won't be easy.
All right, Calvin says that Nigeria and Ivory Coast should make it through, but will not be easy. And now let's go straight to Group B. We have Egypt, a powerhouse when it comes to the world of football. Ghana, I mean, the Black Stars, they've won it before now. They hosted it 2008. Cape Verde, Mozambique in Group B. I mean, let's look at this group. Tough one, you might want to say?
For me, I picked it as one of the toughest groups because you look at Egypt, Mozambique, Ghana, and Cape Verde. All these are strong teams. Mozambique has always been a difficult side to beat. Cape Verde has beaten top teams in Africa before. So that group is open. I was watching Egypt yesterday playing against Zambia, where they almost drew, and we can't rule out the possibility of them not making out of the group stage. So it will be a very, very difficult one for Ghana, Egypt, for any of the teams in the group. I wouldn't pick any favorite. Anyone can make it out.
You want to be on the defense? But let's look at Egypt. I mean, Egypt got to the finals of the last AFCON. They lost via penalties to Senegal. They should be favorites to come out of that group.
I don't think they're favorites. I would say Ghana are favorites in that
wow.
group. If you check Egypt in their last 3 games, they were only winning yesterday. It was almost a draw. They needed a bit of time to win. So I feel like Egypt now has tired legs. Sorry to say, but they have these old players. They need fresh blood in that team. Wow. You can't depend on Mohamed Salah, the likes of Trezeguet. They are already getting old. You need youngsters to come in. So I wouldn't say Egypt is the favorite in that group. Ghana is, because they have young players who are very excited. The likes of Mohamed Kudus, quite talented number of players that they have. Bukari doing fantastic things at Red Star Belgrade. We saw what he did in the Champions League against Manchester City. He did it again against young boys. So Ghana are favorites in that group. In my view, I think Ghana really has a chance to make it out of this group. But it will not be easy. Like I said, Mozambique and Cape Verde are difficult teams to beat. they've always given problems to top teams. So it will not be easy. For Egypt, they really have to work hard. And if anything,
Okay.
they need new players. Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's see what happens. I mean, Egypt, Ghana, but of course you tipped Ghana to go through as favorites in that particular group. Now let's go straight to Group C, where we have Cameroon, Senegal in that particular group. Some persons will say this group is really tough. We also have Guinea and the Gambia. Gurasi, it's in that group, if I'm not mistaken. We have Naby Keita for Guinea, and for Cameroon and Senegal, and not forgetting the Gambia in Group C.
Same thing I've said. If you look at the Gambia, they've started being one of the favorites, if I would put it that way. They're a very difficult side to beat as well. In their last tournament, you've seen at all 8 groups, they're doing fantastic. And whatever Gambia is doing, everyone else should copy. This is what I was telling my colleagues here, that we should learn from what the Gambia is doing. We've seen they've performed well at under 20, under 23, and their national team should replicate that. We saw what they did at the previous tournament. They went all the way to knockout stage. So I wouldn't be surprised if they pull up a surprise again. And looking at how Cameroon performed in the qualifiers, they nearly missed out on this tournament. You know, they struggled to win against teams like Namibia, and that should tell you something. There's a chance for everyone in that group. I tip Senegal to go through, but again, on Cameroon, like I said, with Egypt, they need to work extra hard.
Can we say that group is the group of death? I mean, amongst the groups we had, of course, from CAF, is that the group of death?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not. Yeah, it's not.
All right.
It's much easier than Group B.
Much easier than Group B.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. All right. Looking at Cameroon and Senegal, these are two sides, of course. Physically, they are there. You look at how much of the players they have. Both players, they know themselves very well. They play, most of them, in the same league. You look at the German Bundesliga, you have Maxim Choupo-Moting in that particular team. You look at also in the midfield, you look at Anguissa. You look at also for Senegal, Sadio Mane, in as much as he's no longer in the Premier League, but he's someone who knows the Cameroon team very well. So, and then Guinea, an upset can also happen. Then Gambia, who have been in the last Nations Cup, we saw what they did. And looking at what this group stands, I mean, don't you think this is going to be very, very difficult, both on paper and on the field?
On paper, it is difficult, but on the field, it will be easier for Senegal because of course the quality of players that they have. They should have it easy to make it out of the field. But for Cameroon, it will not be easy for them. Guinea and the Gambia, anyone can go out. They can make it out of that group. So that is what makes it not a group of death, because I feel it's obvious for Senegal to make it out.
All right, Calvin will just hold on a bit because we have to go back to Abidjan to hear from the host, AFCON. It's a Senegalese American singer, one who, of course, was born in Africa before going over to the US. He was part of that draw and he spoke a lot about Africa. Let's get to hear from AFCON. We'll be right back.
Well, I mean, I think it definitely started with my parents. You know, they both were born and raised in Senegal, and then they made sure we was born in the States, but we were raised in Senegal. So shortly after birth, we were shipped back to Senegal, and that culture, you know, the environment, the family tradition was all embezzled within me when I went back to the States for school, and it just never really left. But I always had the African identity. You know what I mean? It's like, because you're born someplace don't make you someplace, but your blood is definitely where you come from, and my blood is definitely 100% African. No, this is amazing, man. I think it's gonna be more events like this that we're gonna need to promote, you know, because this is what gives Africa the root and gives you can say the recognition, especially on the entertainment side, sports without a doubt, you know, especially when it comes to football. But these are a lot of the jewels that we actually have that we don't market enough. And I think, you know, situations like this and events like this can help us do that. Everybody has the hopes to win. You know what I'm saying? When you look at it as us being the reigning champions, I think it's a long time. It's long overdue. You know, Senegal, we always been heavily, you know, football related. I think we're going to go a long way and create a lot more opportunities for ourselves.
All right, Akon, there talking about Senegal, the chances of winning, and how Africa is at the moment, a lot of things. And we still have Calvin Chikenge, all the way from Zambia, is still with us to preview the draws made yesterday in Abidjan by CAF. I mean, Calvin, Akon, infusing music and football with what we've seen so far with CAF. Interesting to see Akon, do the draws yesterday or host the draws.
AFCON, being one of the hosts last night. This is something that we should encourage, bring everybody on board, and just to make the tournament big. Of course, you're talking about somebody who has about millions of followers across the world, and him talking about the African Cup of Nations will definitely, go a long way, attracting his American fans to also follow what this AFCON is talking about. Yeah, so it is a very good step for CAF. I hope they can incorporate more, superstars like AFCON to come and talk about our beautiful game. That was a smart move.
All right, and let's look at the formats now for the Africa Cup of Nations before we go through the remaining groups. The format right now, 2 teams qualified and the best third place in the groups, because now we have a 24-team format. Do you think at this point in time it will be more difficult to win the Africa Cup of Nations compared to when we have 16 teams, go all the way to win the tournament?
I think it has become less difficult. I don't know. I like thinking of opponents, but I think it's become less difficult. Almost everyone has a chance because there are too many teams. There's a possibility that the big guys can meet a less ranked team and make it all the way to the knockout. Yeah, but when it was 18 teams, because you were sure that you're gonna have like the elite teams on the continent making it to the final. So it was just like these few selected teams from across the region making it to the AFCON. It was very difficult. Anyone actually is super difficult to beat. But this time there's a chance that you can meet a team that is not well on that level that some other teams are. So I feel it is much easier now than it was.
All right, much easier now than it was, says Calvin. Now let's go straight to Group D. Of course, in the draw, we stopped at Group C. Now on to Group D, where we have Algeria, Burkina Faso, Mauritania, Angola. Quite easy when you take a look at the group on paper, who to qualify.
Yeah, I think if that one, Algeria will qualify. Burkina Faso as well, they will qualify definitely. I don't know if they really put in play like the Algeria, Burkina Faso that is known, then they should have to make it out of that group.
All right.
Angola and Mauritania, well, they have a chance. Like I said, everyone has a chance, but in this group, I'll give it to Algeria and Burkina Faso.
Algeria and Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso 2013 finalists. They played against Nigeria, and at the end of the day, Aristide Banse was not enough as the Super Eagles triumph in 2013 in South Africa. And now to Group E, where we have, of course, Tunisia in that particular group. Tunisia, Mali, South Africa, and Namibia. Calvin, your take on this?
This is the group of death.
Why? Why did you say so?
This is a group of death. Namibia almost denied Cameroon a chance to qualify for this tournament. And they're coming in with a team that has been together for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if Namibia tops this group. They've really been fantastic. They've been fantastic in the last 2-3 years. They've been doing very well. Even South Africans know what is at stake. They have one of the best players that plays in the South African League, Peter Shaludi. He's been topping the charts in the PSL, South African PSL, season in, season out. And so South Africans know what is at stake here. They have Namibia has quite a good number of players, local-based players, and majority of them play in South Africa. They know what they know how South Africans play. It will not be easy for them. Mali, we all know what Mali is made of. They have arguably the most talented squad on the continent, the likes of
The Traores.
Exactly. Quite a good number of young players who are very, very hungry for success. And it's just unfortunate that at tournaments like the Africa Cup, they haven't been, luck haven't been on the side. I would say they've been unlucky, but they have one of the most interesting squads. Tunisia as well, majority of the players play in the Tunisian. And when you look at Tunisian clubs, not every African club can beat clubs from Tunisia. They have been fantastic throughout in the CAF competitions, and we know what they can do. So definitely, they're going to be a very hard nut to crack. And which is the team there? South Africa. South Africa has been coming up well as well. They have, one of the informed players doing fantastic in the Premier League. He scored 5 goals. That is Lee Costa. He's been doing very well for newly promoted Ben in the English Premier League. So it's a very, very difficult group.
Okay.
Very unpredictable as well. Anyone can make it out of this group, but it will be very difficult. For me, I picked it as the group of 10.
All right, group of death, says Calvin, for Group E. And last but not the least, Group F, which has your country, Zambia. In that particular one, we have Morocco, DR Congo, and Tanzania. I mean, interesting group, you might want to say.
Yeah, it is an interesting group. I was listening to our coach, Abraham Grant, who was saying that it is quite strange that we keep on getting drawn with Morocco. We've been drawn with Morocco in the World Cup qualifiers as well. We have Tanzania in the World Cup qualifiers as well. So we're going to play Morocco from now up to somewhere 2025. We're playing Morocco. So it is a very difficult group for Zambia. I would like to admit it's a very, very difficult group for Zambia. We've always had problems playing against the Arabs, the North Africans. They've always been our difficult opponents. DR Congo share a very, very rich history in terms of football. We've played each other. They've beaten us. They've been dominant over Zambia, but we've also beaten them. And the likes of Tanzania, I think that is where Zambia will try to get points. So I'm thinking Zambia might get a win over Tanzania, maybe try to get a draw against DR Congo, and then maybe put up an upset against Morocco. But everything is possible.
You know what interests me? What interests me with what you just said is the fact that you are not overconfident. Rather, you are just trying to be safe with Zambia. If it happens, it happens. You're not really, really confident that they can actually go past the group stage.
No, I'm very confident. I'm very confident.
Oh, you're very confident.
If we don't come out safe in that group, if you don't come out second or top in that group, we will come out safe and still be among the 10 best teams at the tournament and go through to the knockout. Yeah, so I'm trying to be realistic. Morocco is going to be one of the best teams in Africa right now. They are the highest ranked team on the continent, and there's no way that Morocco will not make it out of that group. So just being realistic, looking at our squad, we have what it takes to beat them, but I wouldn't say, no, we're going to beat them. No,
all right.
2-0. Very, very tricky. It's a very tricky draw. But yeah, I tip my country to definitely make it to the group stage. Yeah, because we have Congo who we can beat in that group.
All right. Thank you very much, Calvin. We've gone through the groups of the Nations Cup, and we wait to hold you accountable or responsible when it comes to who goes through, as you've just predicted. Don't forget, it's an interesting one, and we hope to see the very best of African football come January 2024. Thank you very much, Calvin Chikenge, for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.